Welcome back to Cox Connections, exclusively on Cox 9 Roanoke. I'm Kim Stanley. Now that spring has arrived, your thoughts may be turned into outdoor projects. If any of those DIY tasks require digging, listen up. Underground utility lines are a hidden danger. A simple call could save your life. Here to tell us how to stay safe are Rick Povarsky, CEO of Virginia Utility Protection Service, and George Bauer, Cox Roanoke CAD designer. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Good to see you as always. And I guess it's getting that time of year where people are out digging, and we've got a lot of good information to share with them today. Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about VUPS, or Virginia Utility Protection Services?
VUPS is, we provide the Miss Utility service for the state of Virginia, and also known as the 811 service. We're a not-for-profit organization. We're not a government agency. We have, it's a technology center. We do a lot of we have all the maps and records of utilities, and as a caller, if somebody's going to excavate, as they call us, we look at the area that they call in and the information they provide us, and then we map that to whatever utilities are there, and then we notify those utilities. We do not put the paint on the ground, the utilities do that.
Okay, so the person getting ready to do yard work or do any digging, you know, of any type, I mean, just planting bushes, they call 811, reach your center, and then you reach out to utilities to come out and mark those lines.
That's correct. That's correct. And it can be anything from major highway construction to the planting of the gardens.
Okay. And why is it important that people call?
It's important to call to get the utilities marked. They are, as you mentioned, a hidden danger. Certainly there's issues with hitting a power or gas line, gas migrating into a home, hitting a power line and getting the surge of power. But there's also other utilities involved too. We have power, we have gas, we have water, sewer, cable, certainly, fiber. There's industrial lines that can be marked. So they'll go to a factory. They could be product, they could be steam lines. Those are all, they can be members. We do not mark private facilities. So if somebody has a septic system or dog fence in their yard, or if a company would have some type of a line downstream of a meter, then those are not marked. So that's something to remember, to have those marked separately.
Okay. So after someone calls Miss Utility or Virginia Utility Protection Service, how long does it take, and what is the process? The
process starts at 7 a.m. the following business day. The clock will start, and it'll be 48 hours. The utilities have 48 hours, business days, two business days to mark those utilities. And then after that, the excavator, we have what's called a positive response, and we will send an email notification back to the caller and let them know the status of all the utilities that have marked. At that point, then the caller can go ahead, the excavator or homeowner, can go ahead and start digging. The most important thing is that, first of all, if you're a homeowner, try to do whatever excavation you're going to do away from those lines. If you're going to excavate within 24 inches of a line, you have to hand dig first to expose the line, and then use mechanized equipment outside of that 24-inch radius. Okay. So there's no chance of hitting those lines.
So they'll see all the different colors on the ground or the area or the street or whatever's taking place.
And there are not only the color codes, but there's more information that'll be identified who the utility belongs to and the size. Those are all marked, and that can be all viewed on our website. The state of Virginia has a standard, a marking standard that we use, and those standards are on our website. Okay.
So George, one of those utilities happens to be the cable, so why don't you talk to us about, what are the ramifications when someone doesn't call Miss Utility and they do dig, and let's just say that the cable gets cut. What are the ramifications there?
Well, I mean, obviously they can lose their cable TV, but also their phone and internet service as well. And nowadays we have a lot of folks that are working out of their homes as well with their business. And so, along with that, we have fiber deeper into the neighborhoods these days. So if, it's not just the digging that you do in your yard that can damage a line. When that line gets damaged, it can damage a lot of folks around you as well.
Right. I hadn't really thought about, we do have a lot of people that work from home now. So it's not just
Right.
losing your TV, your phone, your internet, but it also cuts you off if you are working in from home.
Exactly, and the damage that you do in your yard may not even affect you. It may affect your neighbors as well, and could facilitate us having to replace a piece of cable through their yard or across the street even. So.
Wow. Yeah, and that probably really holds true for a construction company. If they damage something in a street, that could be a whole neighborhood taken out.
Right,
So.
and of course nobody likes when their service goes down, including us.
Right.
So we do what we can, along with VUPS to try to keep everything marked well, so it doesn't happen.
That leads me to the next question. Why is Cox partnering with VUPS on this important initiative?
Well, I think it's very good insurance, to be honest with you. VUPS is a great partner. They always have been. And a simple call to 811 could save everybody a lot of time, a lot of money, because these lines are pretty expensive to replace. And nobody wants us to go through their yard and have to do repairs and whatnot. So, the way we look at it is it's a great opportunity for the customer to call in. Usually the customer checks the weather, or the excavator checks the weather ahead of time. It's a perfect time during that planning stage to go ahead and call 811 ahead of time to get everything marked properly.
Yeah, that's great. And it's so easy and quick. That's what has surprised me through this, is how quick we get out there, or the companies get out there and get the lines marked. So it's easy and it's quick. What else should our viewers know, Rick, and how do they contact your company beyond 811 or to get questions answered?
To get questions answered, you can still dial 811 and hit one of the options within our pre-announcer and go to our help desk. And the help desk will work people through those kind of issues. But our agents are all trained to work with first-time callers, so if you've never called us, you still have that opportunity for training. Also visit our website, va811.com. And there's a lot of good information out there.
Great, lots of information. Thanks so much, Rick, George, for joining me on the show. It's good to see you as always.
Thank you.
Still to come, technology changes rapidly and the amount of e-waste generated increases just as fast. After the break, find out what Cox is doing to keep electronic waste out of landfills and how you can help.